Hello and welcome to Carpal. My name is Vignesh and we're going to be talking about a fairly important topic, and I'm going to be talking about vehicle safety. When it comes to vehicle safety, I'm sure at some point or the other we had this question cross our minds, right? We talk about global NCAP safety scores and so on and so forth. And we also even talk about build quality for some reason. But I'm sure at some point or the other we have thought of why cars from the yesteryear, I'm talking about cars like the Ambassador or the Contessa or the Fiat Padmini and vehicles like that, why are they so much stronger than the vehicles of today? When the vehicles of today are actually feeling a little, cheap, feeling a little plasticky and feeling a little compromised, right? So why is this so? The reason behind this whole difference is because of priorities, right? Because earlier you had to make stronger cars, you had to make cars that were longer, you had to make cars that are more powerful, more spacious, and so on. But now, when it comes to the cars of today, you're making safer cars, right? What is the difference? Stronger cars to safer cars, and that's a huge difference. To understand this huge difference, the first thing to do is to figure out what exactly is automotive platform technology. To understand platform technology, let's sort of make a small comparison. The cars of the yesteryear, they had something called a body on frame platform, which basically means that you have a frame, you have a ladder like frame, just to give you an example, on top of which a body is bolted on. Think of something like how the modern day buses and trucks are. You have a platform and you sort of bolt the body or all the other auxiliary components on top of that. That was the same strategy used in even making cars. So the other fact when it comes to using body on frame technology is that cars are made of steel, right? So manufacturers basically used one single grade of steel for the entire length of the car, because they couldn't accommodate multiple grades of steel across multiple parts of the car. Now, the cars of today, on the other hand, have something called a monocoque, which basically means that the body and the frame is sort of fused together to form one unit. And the advantage of this unit is that it's yes, much lighter than the body and frame, but it also accommodates different grades of steel to be fixed along different parts of the car. And this proves to be a major advantage. Now let's put all this together in a small hypothetical situation where you're driving a 1980s car and you're doing 40 kilometers per hour and you hit a median. At 40 kilometers per hour, when the car hits the median, the car takes the impact of the median really well because it's got one grade of steel along the length of the car. It's a very strong car. It actually takes the impact pretty well. But what happens to you inside the car? Now your body just went through a massive amount of force, a massive amount of deceleration from 40 kilometers per hour to 0 kilometers per hour in literally no time, which basically means that you have a brutal attack of forces acting on your body, and our bodies are not designed for that. And eventually what happens is that you have bones breaking, you have organs being crushed, and you have internal bleeding and so on, which would basically turn out to be fatal. Not to paint a bad picture, but that's basically what happens. And that's why crashes, especially in an older car, in a 1980s car or the yesteryear car, though the cars are actually pretty good, it is not the best for you. Now you can ask me, why can't we just add airbags to this car and make them safer? Now adding airbags may not make the car safer because one, it does not help with the deceleration, and number two, it may in fact do more damage. So what happens in a modern day vehicle, right? How does that take the impact? Does it take the impact well or not? So that's a question to ask. And so let's get you back into that situation where you're driving a modern vehicle, say 2000s and above, right? A fairly modern vehicle, and let's say you are in this crash again at 40 kilometers per hour. So remember that your modern day vehicle has something called a monocoque construction. You have a monocoque construction, you have multiple grades of steel, but then you have one subsection which is the strongest, right? One subsection that is actually really strong. That is basically the shell of this car. Now when you crash, you have multiple grades of steel taking the impact first, right? And then finally the impact reaching you. So when this happens, the extent of the forces that are basically thrown at you is reduced to a point where you can actually manage them, and with additional safety features like your seat belt or like your airbags, you're able to reduce the level of impact on you with these systems, and therefore saving you from a major accident. So it essentially all boils down to the fact that the cars of the past are actually quite self-centric. So they are stronger cars themselves, they're really strong, they take the impact really well, but they are not designed to have you be safe inside them. Whereas the modern cars are actually designed to keep you safe, right? So they would in fact be the selfless ones here, that they would even destroy themselves to keep you safe. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found this useful at some point or the other. And if you really liked the video, do hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to sort of be notified whenever you put up a new video. And don't forget that if you're looking to buy a new car in India, do check out trycarpal.com. We are an online new car virtual dealership, and it would be great to have you as a customer. Have a great day.